is Gangrene Blitz with your host, Joe Mauceri.
The Jets went all the way to London for that? For that? Come on, Gangrene. You could have brought the offense across the pond with you. At least the defense showed up. Hello and welcome to the show. I am Joe Mauceri, and we've got a lot to talk about on a very disappointing performance from the Jets against the Denver Broncos over in London. And joining us, as always, NFL reporter for the New York Post, Ryan Dunleavy. Ryan, have you gotten over the morning sickness from watching the Jets in London?
I checked. It's not true that the NFL office that London reached out and said we're no longer interested in a London expansion team after watching this game. That there's no.
You can understand. You can understand why after seeing it. It was absolutely abysmal from both sides. It was a rock fight, and the Jets still had a chance to win this one in the end. But we were all talking about the quarterback situation for the New York Jets coming out of this one as they threw for -10 passing yards. I don't know how that's possible. -10 net passing yards, but it is in fact possible. And here is what Aaron Glenn had to say about his quarterback situation when he was asked about it in the postgame press conference.
Is he going to be your quarterback next week, or would you?
Come on, man. What kind of question is that?
He did not have a good game. I mean, I think it's a fair question.
There's a number of guys that, sometimes this league is like this, and there are guys that have bad games. That doesn't mean you just bench them. Come on, you know better than that.
The struggles have been. You guys are on 6 though.
Yep.
This isn't, a team that's 2-3 or 3-3.
No doubt.
Quarterback has a bad game. And Justin's played a role in some of these offensive struggles.
No doubt. Everybody's played a role in that, so it's not just Justin. Yeah.
If he's not pulling the trigger, you kind of owe it to the rest of the guys on offense to give a guy another chance to potentially to be the one to throw the ball to.
Well, I don't see that. And sometimes we got to get him to operate a certain way. I mean, that happens to a lot of guys. You just can't sit there and say, "Oh man, we're going to bench him because this." I thought some other games he's played well, so I'm not looking at this as just, man, he played a bad game, I'm going to bench him. I don't see it that way.
So he has played well in some other games-ish. He also had a 27-yard performance in another game after 45 in this one.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really bad. And to come at the media and say, what kind of question is that? What is Aaron Glenn doing? We saw signs that it was headed this way during training camp, and we're getting there earlier than I expected it to get here with Aaron Glenn. What'd you make of his discussion with reporters about the situation and his defense of Fields here?
Yeah, I mean, this is what this is who he's been since he got here. Kind of like the media's out to get us against the world. That's fine if it works and you're 0-6, it's not going to work. So I don't even really care how he acted to the media. Like, Brian Daboll doesn't answer anything. So what if he does it nicely? So I don't really care about his tone. I care more, like, I'm more offended by his answer than by his tone or whatever. Like, the idea that, like, Justin Fields is still unquestionably the quarterback is mind-boggling when, you have former Jets players like Damian Woody on Twitter, like, screaming for a quarterback change. So look, I think I've been on your show since week 1. I told you, Joe, that I think Tyrod Taylor is the better quarterback. They're not playing the better quarterback. He kind of explained himself today. Glenn said, with the reporters today, he said, he thought he's played 4 pretty good games. In his 5th game, he took a step back, and I'm with you guys 100% that we can't have that. We have to get better, and he knows that. So, like, he tampered it down. He kind of gave the media a bone that it was a fair question. Who cares about the media? The point is, Fields has been playing badly. You can't blindly defend him, because the first ones to know, the truest thing about the NFL is the players are the first ones to know. And if they know that you're not playing the right quarterback, then their effort's going to start to wane, and their belief in you is going to start to wane, and they're going to tune out your message. So he has to figure out when he's at that point. It's got to be close.
I'm interested in your take on this, because you also said that NFL players believe in loyalty, right? And when you make promises, they want to know that you're going to keep those promises, and Justin Fields is the guy. So I guess is when do you go from one to the other, right? When do you say, okay, enough's enough?
Yeah, you're there. You're at that
Okay.
point. Yeah, they gave Justin Fields the loyalty. They gave him the 6 games. Like you said, he threw for 45 yards, and that's not even his season low somehow. So they've fulfilled their promise to Justin Fields. Now they need to fulfill the promise to the other 52 guys on the roster and give them the best chance to win. If you want to start him against the Panthers, I guess that's what they're going to do. That's fine. But there needs to be a quick in-game hook or a do or die. This is your last game. I get Glenn sounds like he might not be the kind of guy to pull a guy in game, because then he starts questioning, am I going to get pulled every time I make a bad decision? And then you kind of neuter him. I get it. So if you want to give him the full Panthers game, that's fine. If it looks anything like it did this game, then that's it.
All right, for his part, here's what Justin Fields had to say about his struggles on Sunday.
I got to get the ball out. They had a good D-line. They got to the backfield fast. And then, once you get in that rhythm, you got to go 1-2 and get the hell up out of there. And, I thought that's kind of what we talked about on the sideline, is just, when we get a team that's getting that much pressure, that's getting to the backfield like that, 1-2, maybe 3 sometimes, and go. So it wasn't good enough, though.
When you say you got to get the ball out, it's probably a silly question, but why weren't you? Most of them. I thought they did a good job on defense covering. Like I said, they have a good defense, and that's what it is. But like I said, it wasn't on all of them. I probably could have got the ball out on some, but I think most of the time they pretty much covered as well.
All right, we've talked about the lack of skill position players for the Jets, outside of Garrett Wilson, obviously, when it comes to the wide receiver position. What did you see out there? Because I do think that there were times that guys were covered and a defender was in his face before he, had a chance to go to his second read. But was that the whole game, or is this Fields just holding on to the ball and he's shell-shocked back there now?
Saw a stat. I don't have it in front of me. There was Justin Fields. I want to say his average time to sack was like 5.6 seconds, which I think if I'm here it is. Next gen, 5.76 seconds was the average time to sack. Only time in the league above 5.5 this season, and the league average is 4.63 seconds. So that's an enormous difference. I know 1 second doesn't feel like it. In quarterbacking, it's an enormous difference. So part of it's on him holding the ball, a good part of it, and part of it is on they don't have enough receivers to get open besides Garrett Wilson. We knew that was going to be a problem all year. It's manifesting itself. But even when the times where Garrett Wilson got open, the ball was late. So he almost got Garrett Wilson decapitated once the ball was so late. Yeah. So it's
even on that, I think it was a 3rd and 8. Yeah, even on that 3rd and 8, I think late in the game. I'm not sure if that's the play you're referring to, where Wilson was kind of diving backwards for the ball, that it was laid over there, and then he got hit on the sideline. You can't put your receivers in that position. Garrett Wilson. Go ahead.
The other thing, Joe, is like we talk about Jackson Dart on our other show, like. Justin Fields is in his 5th year. If the receivers are covered, whatever, one of your strengths is your legs. So, you have to know to abandon the pocket before 5.76 seconds. Like, if all your guys are covered, use your legs. Take off and run. That's one of your strengths. Find the crease and go. No one's going to complain about Justin Fields running too much. There's no reason Jackson Dart, a rookie, should be able to figure that out, that everybody's covered, I have to scramble before Justin Fields does.
And you bring up Jackson Dart here. The other thing we heard from Jackson Dart time and time again when things went wrong is it's on me. Everything's on me, right? Regardless of what happens, he says it's on me. Fields not taking. Look, I don't think he threw his teammates under the bus here, but he's not that prototypical quarterback. And it wasn't the prototypical quarterback answer where when everything goes right, give credit to everybody else, and when everything goes wrong, put it on my shoulders. Do you have any issue with the way he kind of evaluated the situation?
He doesn't throw people under the bus, but he certainly has a lot of excuses.
All right. Garrett Wilson also made some headlines in this game. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to talk about Wilson and the heated conversation he had on the sidelines with his head coach as they went into halftime. I was scratching my head. I don't know about you, but we'll hear what Ryan has to say when Gang Green Blitz returns.
Welcome back to Gangrene Blitz.
Oh, it wasn't the trip to London that the New York Jets were hoping for as they return still as the only winless team in the NFL this season. Joining us each and every week here on Gangrene Blitz is Ryan Dunleavy, NFL reporter for the New York Post. Ryan, it was an interesting 2-minute drive at the end of the half for the Jets. So much so that even star wide receiver Garrett Wilson wasn't quite sure what the Jets were doing at the end of the half. Here's what he had to say following the heated discussion that was captured on the sidelines with head coach Aaron Glenn.
I just didn't know exactly what the plan was. And once I figured it out, I was disappointed. I'll just say that. So, yeah.
To not run a play, is that what you mean?
Yeah, I didn't know exactly what the plan was. I just thought once we converted the fourth down, I just thought we were going for the trying to make the play, and then obviously we get to another fourth down, and it's a tough spot to be in. So, in hindsight, I get why they did that, but in the moment, I was just like, man, I don't know. Yeah.
Do you think he really gets why they did that? Because I still don't get why they did it.
He's a better man than me, man. He is a better man. He doesn't get it. Who gets it? Nobody gets it. It doesn't make any sense. That'd be you can't get something that doesn't make any sense. That was the worst managed drive I might have ever seen in my whole life.
Wow.
Time clock. They ran a fake punt, which was the most telegraphed fake
Oh
punt
my
in
God.
history. They somehow got it. They risked not getting it by telegraphing it so much and then handing the Broncos a field goal in a field goal driven game, but surrendering field position just so that they could run out the clock. So then who should be more offended? Justin Fields, that after a fake punt, they had so little confidence in you that they didn't even try to score. They just wanted to run. They faked a punt to run out the clock. Or the Jets defense that as good as you were playing, Aaron Glenn had such little confidence in you getting a stop before the half that he ran a fake punt just to make sure that he had a new set of downs to run out the clock. What are we?
I don't know.
What are we talking about?
Absolutely insane here. I feel like this is the emperor's new clothes with the comments that are coming out after this game from Garrett Wilson. And you look at it.
Joe, I will say Glenn did circle back today and say the thing he regrets is not throwing a Hail Mary there.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and you shouldn't even throw a Hail Mary in that situation. I understand that the Broncos have one time out there and he's concerned about them going and scoring. But if you're going to be aggressive, you had Breece Hall as the up man on that fake punt. You go over and you talk to the officials. Everybody on the Broncos sideline knew it was coming. If it was 4th and 1.5, you don't get that first down. It was executed so poorly. And then to go out there, and that's what I was saying. I was like, look, I'll even give them some credit and say, maybe I don't think that they have a timeout. I don't want to turn it over on 4th down. They didn't use their timeout, so you're still running out the clock as it goes down. You snap that ball with 8 seconds, you get a play out of bounds, and all of a sudden you're in field goal range. It doesn't even need to be a Hail Mary. You mentioned it's a field goal game. It took a holding penalty in the end zone for the Jets to take the lead in this one.
We're gonna need an ibuprofen sponsorship here if we keep talking about these plays, Joe. It made no sense. The Hail Mary, they could have thrown the Hail Mary. Assuming that didn't work, it still would have been we'd still be sitting here screaming why'd you fake a punt to throw a Hail Mary? Just get into field goal position and try the 60-yard field goal. Nick Folk can make a 60-yard field goal. Let him try it.
Everybody can make a 60-yard field goal in the NFL, it seems now. I'm not saying they will, but they can.
But they can. You're going from super aggressive to super passive and skipped everything in between. Made no sense. And Garrett Wilson is right to be pissed.
All right. Let's talk about that defense because they were one bright spot for the Jets this weekend. And obviously the return of Jermaine Johnson really helped in this one. I mean, look, the Broncos are coming off a huge comeback win against the Eagles, and then they have to go and hop on the plane and go over to London. And we talked about, right, did the team quit against the Cowboys, the Jets, that is. At least the defense seems like they were still fighting to the very end of this one. What did you see from their defense this week?
A much improved game. Yeah. I mean, that Broncos team is a team that scored 17 in the fourth quarter against the Eagles, beat the Eagles. Bo Nix is a quarterback who had a great rookie year. He hasn't quite been up to that standard his second year. They can run the ball. They have a pretty good offensive line, and the Jets defense stood up. I mean, they did a great job in this game. They were around the ball. Jermaine Johnson had a sack, looked like himself. Sauce Gardner didn't have his huge penalty or whatever that he usually has. Andre Cisco started the game with the takeaway. Actually, Jarvis Brownlee, the in-season acquisition, knocked the ball out, and Cisco fell on it. They finally ended the 5-game takeaway list streak. So I thought the Jets defense played like the Jets defense wants to play, and that's what bad teams do. When the offense plays, the defense doesn't. When the defense plays, the offense doesn't.
Well, here's what Sauce and Johnson had to say about the defensive performance in this one after the game.
I feel like we bounced back for sure. We had that players meeting and just talking about what we could do better, and we was just talking about everybody just take it personal. And I know me personally, I took it personal for sure. And I know the rest of the defense did as well. So that was a great job out of defense.
I'm still pissed. So I just got to be better where I can be better. Defense has to be better where we can be better. All three phases, special teams, offense, and we got to keep attacking. You got to be steadfast in this thing, and don't worry about it.
So that attitude from Jermaine Johnson, right? Like, I feel like when guys go out and curse, sometimes they're actually upset. Sometimes I think they just do it for show because they feel like they're supposed to be upset. I don't know. We talked about the Giants and them feeling like this is it. We are just, you can't get over that hump of losing. That's where it feels like the Jets are at to me right now. New regime, 6 games in, same old Jets. Is there any way, is there a guy you look to? I mean, do you think they can turn around that culture in year one here?
Look, they're going to face a lot of really bad teams, Joe. Like, I think I looked at Tankathon this morning for the projected draft order. They have the number 1 pick because they're the only winless team. I think they play 5 of the 6 next teams in the top 7. So, like, they're gonna have a lot of chances where they play other bad teams. So, do I think they can get some wins? I do. Do I think they can turn around a losing culture? I don't know how much 3-14 or versus 1-15 versus 4-13. I mean, still going to feel to Sauce Gardner and Jermaine Johnson and Garrett Wilson like they're wasting a season of their primes, which is the case. I mean, that's just the case. The Jets are wasting seasons. So I don't know that a couple wins here or there is going to make anybody feel any better about the direction of the franchise. It's nice not to lose 0, nice not to win 0. But I don't know that 2 versus 4 makes anybody feel any better.
And now all of a sudden, you say they're going to be playing a lot of bad teams, but you looked at the schedule thinking about the Carolina Panthers as possibly one of those bad teams, and now all of a sudden it doesn't seem like a team like the Panthers is as bad as you might have thought. So now next up, obviously, playing the Carolina. What are you looking for from the Jets in this game?
I mean, look, Carolina's on another level than the Jets. They're not. It's disrespectful to put the Jets in the same set. Carolina just beat the Cowboys, and they beat the Falcons 30-0. So no, they're not one of the teams. The Jets play Cleveland, they play Baltimore, which if Lamar Jackson isn't back, then Baltimore stinks. The Miami, New Orleans, Cincinnati, so they play bad.
Yeah, but
teams.
they already played Miami, right? We saw that play out. Go ahead.
And that was one of their better games. Right?
I
mean, they lost, but that was one of their better games, and it'll be home in December. Miami will be 4 and whatever, and probably have a different head coach and not be thrilled to play in the game. So, but for this game, what am I looking for? you want to see the offense respond. If this is to me, this is Justin Fields do or die. So like, does he get the ball out quicker? Does he use his legs more? Is there more RPO in the play calling? We haven't mentioned Tanner Engstrand at all. He's just as culpable as Justin Fields. So you want, and we don't know what Garrett Wilson's status is. He got banged up in the game. So like, is he going to play? If he's not going to play, I don't know, honestly. I don't mean to be hyperbolic, Joe, but how do they get a passing first down? I don't know. I really don't know. You just hand the ball to Breece Hall 35 times and run RPOs.
Halfback option.
Honestly,
Halfback option toss. That's how they get. That's how they get their pass.
I don't know how they pass. They might be better off not attempting a pass because then maybe they could end up with 0 passing yards instead of making.
Didn't the Patriots do that on a real windy day in Buffalo a couple years ago? I think they threw 3 passes.
3,
in the entire game,
and they won. I think they won.
We'll have to double check that. I feel like they threw an interception on one of the 3 passes and ended up losing, but it was a close game if nothing else. Go ahead, look it up. He's looking it up right now. You mentioned Tanner Engstrand. I just think that right now, even if Tanner Engstrand goes out there and designs the perfect play for Justin Fields, they're so not on the same page. It won't be his first read, and something will go wrong on that play.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly, but it feels like whatever can go wrong will go wrong for the Jets. It certainly feels that way. The Patriots beat the Bills 14-10 in the game they threw 3 passes.
There you go. They did win it. Was that a Monday Night Football game?
It was a primetime game. I don't know if it was Monday or Thursday. Yeah.
Anything that can go wrong will go wrong. The motto of the 2025 New York Jets.
Put it on a T-shirt.
There you go. Forget about all gas, no break. We will do that, and we'll see how many we sell over here. Ryan Dunleavy, at least there's one way to have fun with the New York Jets this season. Thank you so much for joining us each and every week. And Jets fans, keep coming back because we know misery loves company. We'll be here for you, even when nobody else will. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you next week.